Center?
Community Outreach Services, yes,
All
sir.
right, nice. And I want to highlight the great work that you're doing today.
Thank you. Appreciate
So, I just got a couple questions.
Sure.
What are the primary factors contributing to food insecurity in our community?
Gosh, so food insecurity in the richest nation of the land should not exist,
Yes.
but it does.
Yes.
It does for a number of reasons. Some could be lack of employment, some could be mismanagement of funding,
Yes, sir.
some could be because individuals have chosen to live the life that they live.
Yes.
Food insecurity, unfortunately, will always be amongst us. And it's not because we don't have the food, because there's plenty of food to distribute to the people, but it exists. And most of it is once again because of lack of employment or lifestyle. But we have it though.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you. What are the main barriers that individuals or families face when trying to access healthy and affordable food?
So once again, it boils down to having the income to be able to purchase healthy food. What's interesting, of course, is that the foods that are most healthy for you are the most expensive. And so when you factor in inflation, you factor in unemployment, you factor in lifestyle, you factor in family dynamics, the size of a family, loss of a job, COVID. All of these factors impact individuals' ability to be able to afford food, and so let alone healthy food. And so what happens is families use what they have. So whether that's with their food stamps, whether that's SNAP or WIC, whatever it might be, they are using the resources that they have, which also includes pantry. So as it relates to healthy food, it's expensive. I mean, if you go in the store right now, grapes are almost $4 a pound. Kale, spinach, the things that we should be eating, those things are expensive. And so what typically marginalized families do, or low-income families do, is they buy cheaper foods, and cheaper foods are usually more processed, and so it makes it less affordable. It disenables, if you will, individuals to be able to probably get the things that they want. And if we just keep it at 100, some folks don't want to eat kale. Some folks don't want spinach. And so based on some of our marginalized populations, we have become accustomed to eating what we eat. And sometimes that food is just unhealthy food. It has nothing to do with food insecurity. It has nothing to do with healthy food. It's just it's not what we want. However, it's available. And speaking of that, we're trying, I say we, LMTS is trying our best on Fridays. We call it Fresh Food Fridays, to incorporate healthy food. So you can't afford it, well, come to LMTS on Friday, and we're going to have options for families to get frozen grapes, get kale, get pomegranate, get whatever we can access and distribute. And so sometimes there are multiple options, other times it may be limited. However, we recognize the expense of healthy food, and so we're trying our best to do our little part in providing healthy foods to our constituents that come here, who we call our honored guests.
All right, thank you for sharing. Can you share your personal experience with food security in the community? If you've seen anything in the community, if you have any personal experience, if not.
So in terms of personal food insecurity, it's insecurity. Yeah. I haven't had any. I've been fortunate to be able to help provide food for those who may feel food insecure, and I've seen it with cousins, some family members, But in terms of me personally, I've not experienced it. But because of my environment, I have seen it, which is also giving me a reason to try to help deal with it.
All right, thank you. How easy is it for the community members to access nutritious and culturally appropriate food? I know you mentioned that you had your Fresh Food Friday. Are there any barriers such as distance, affordability, or availability that impacts access to healthy food?
So of course, it could be, but there are many pantries across the city that provide options for individuals to access the types of food they want. If LMTS doesn't have it, maybe Crystal Ray has it. If Crystal Ray doesn't have it, maybe Pentecostal Outreach has it. Pentecostal Outreach don't have it, the Salvation Army may have it. So there is access to get it. Now in terms of transportation, we can identify a number of barricades that may impact a person's ability to access anything. However, many folks find ways to get what they need. Could there be more access available? I'm sure. However, I believe that access to food options are available. The city gives away or can give away bus passes. I don't know how often that happens, but that's an option for some folks. And so utilizing the resources that the city provides for folks to get to where they need to get to helps to erode some of the barricade that folks may experience. But you know, there's a barricade for everything, and we can't erode all of the barricades. However, if we become aware of some of these barricades or issues that may impact families and their access to get things, then there is an agency that's going to deal with it. And so it's a matter of just trying to find out which pantry or which agency can meet that need. I know HRCS downtown does a wonderful job trying to make sure that families have what they want, whether that's rent assistance, utility assistance, knowing where the food pantries are. So there's access.
How can LMTS better serve the public? Like, what do you need? Are there things that you need, or if you have more funding? What could you?
Great question. Yes. And I really didn't answer all of the last question, so I'm going to come back to that last question. As it relates to, let me just say this, as it relates to cultural foods, we are in the process of trying to organize our pantry to be culturally sensitive. And like even with our meats, like we want to have beef, we want to have pork, we want to have chicken, we want to have turkey, we want to have kosher, we want to have halal, we want to have vegan, we want to have, so we want to provide foods that meet the constituency or our neighbors or our honored guests that come through here. We believe that we're the most diverse pantry in the city. That's what we believe. That's what we believe. And that may be more qualifiable than quantifiable, but we are preparing ourselves to meet the cultural needs by asking what do you want to see more of, and then just by having it in the store. I mentioned the meats, but we're looking also at the vegetables and the lentils and the chickpeas, which is more healthy. But a lot of our Middle Eastern population appreciates those types of items, and we see a lot of that in the summertime. So our African population is high, our Cuban population is high. So we want to make sure that we have those culturally appropriate foods so that they know this is a place that has them in mind.
Last question. How can a business or an organization support your efforts?
So we are trying to expand I think we've done pretty well with the food. When we get this cultural piece in, I believe that we will be setting.
Joshua, how can a business or organization best support your efforts at LMTS?
Write a check. Write the check to LMTS. We'll give you a receipt. Write the check. Cash app, go on the website, LMTS.org. It's on the website. LMTS, Community Outreach Services. A check makes a difference. And don't just write the check. Well, no, write the check. And then check on what we're doing with your check. That's what they can do. Or if they don't want to write a check because they don't know what's really happening, come here and just sit and watch what's happening. Watch who comes through the door. Watch how the LMTS staff treat the people. If that don't convince you, keep your money. Keep your money. But I can almost guarantee that if you spend some time with us, you would write the check. And the check will be sown in good ground. And you will see the expansion of whatever you gave.